All right, back with another Really Does This interview.
What's going on?
Nothing much. With an
Man, tis
entrepreneur.
on.
What happened?
What's shaking? I said what's shaking.
Oh shit, I was just gonna give you a little intro.
Oh, you but okay. Oh, my bad.
No, you good. Yeah, entrepreneur, designer, host, overall great dude. Ducky Smallz. How you doing, man?
What's good with it? What's good? Thanks
Nothing
for having
much.
me.
Yeah, of course.
My guy,
Appreciate
we've
you
been
taking the
trying to
time.
trying to make this happen for a little minute. So
Yeah. All the traveling between us.
yeah, we made it shake. We here.
Finally got to it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So you was just telling me you was just in LA. How was that?
It's great, man. LA is LA. Good place to network and make the moves that you're trying to make, depending on what you have going on. So got some business out there, got a lot of fam out there. And fun fact, that's where I was actually born. So
Oh,
yeah,
word.
every time I go, it's technically home going,
Oh, that's hard.
homecoming or whatever. But yeah, I'm in LA
Yeah,
at least like once or twice a month these days. So it's
that's what's
good.
up.
It's good.
Yeah. So you said you was born in LA. Was it LA or just California?
No, LA, Santa
LA.
Monica,
Oh, word.
technically.
Yeah.
And then right after I was born, I was shipped to Cleveland.
Got you.
Shout out to Ship to Cleveland. Oh,
Shout out.
Measy. You got plugged, boy.
Yeah. So were you like a couple years old, or was it kind of like
Nah,
damn
I
near
was
right after?
like let's say a month or so.
Got you.
Unfortunately, my mom became ill and I was in the
Damn.
hospital, and my aunt had to come out to LA and bring me back to Cleveland to stay with her
Yeah.
and my grandmother for a little while. My mom was in LA as a product of Progressive Insurance
Oh, okay.
um, expansion to California. Peter Weber took a Cleveland-based company, Progressive, to Cali, and then offered employees that were here working for Progressive a chance to relocate and work out in Cali. So my mom jumped at the opportunity. She was previously living out there when she was like 19 with my aunt
Oh, okay.
and got her ass shipped back to Cleveland. She was doing too much. My aunt couldn't handle her, but when
Yeah.
she grew up a little bit, got more mature, and found a good employment with Progressive and just got the opportunity and bounce, like a
Hell
lot of people
yeah.
do now. She was ahead of her time, but
Right.
that's kind of like a real migration for a lot of people in
Yeah,
Cleveland.
hell
The
yeah.
Cleveland at LA and back and forth type of situation is kind of historic for northeastern Ohio or so.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was
Yeah.
gonna bring up how like I've probably been to LA a few times, maybe a
Hmm.
handful at most, but I feel like every time I go down there, I meet somebody that's from around the way,
Oh yeah,
like from Ohio or something. So it's definitely more of a migration than anything. You know, they got the mixture of the people from down south and
yep.
stuff like
And I
that.
mean, it's just like the vibe, being from Cleveland and traveling, pretty much everywhere in the states and kind of getting a feel for like the vibe or whatever.
Yeah.
We really kind of are similar to LA and a lot of cultural like just things that we do and how we move. So
Yeah,
we
most
go.
definitely. A lot of people might think of Ohio. They're not gonna know Northeast, whatever. They just think Ohio. You're not gonna
Yeah,
know how like many different cultures and stuff are just in Northeast Ohio.
for sure, for sure.
So you get exposed to a lot,
The
just
Midwest,
meeting people.
and this is one of the top cities in the Midwest, so we
Hmm.
breeding ground for a little bit of everything.
Yeah, for sure. So you talk about how born in LA, came back to Cleveland. Where did you grow up in Cleveland?
St. Clair, yeah, 105 area, and I spent a lot of time on 117. So the Glenville area, Glenville, St. Clair area is where I grew up and pretty much learned everything about life, the good and the bad, the ugly, all of that, right
Get a
there.
little bit of both sides.
A lot of both sides. Yeah, a
Word.
lot, a lot. But it was good. It was, I wouldn't change any of it um, for the world. I learned a lot, right in a small radius, of a few blocks. Learned all the life lessons that I need that, I use to this day across the world, for real,
Yeah.
a lot of things that people lack with you get from
Hmm.
different kinds of human interaction. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
For,
Not
especially
not
nowadays.
algorithm interaction and
Yeah.
Pinterest and all this other bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like real close interactions with
Yeah,
people.
in
You
real
learn a
life,
lot.
face to
Yeah, yeah. You
face.
learn a lot. You learn how to move, how to really move, not how you're told to move. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. Know how to act on your own accordingly.
Know how to read the room,
Yeah.
when to talk, when to shut the fuck up, when to
Just pick up on actual social cues.
yeah,
Word.
when to get out of there. You
Maybe
know?
overstay my welcome.
For sure.
Yeah, because that's what I talk about. Anywhere I've always gone, I've always been able to just be myself. And usually in the middle somewhere, I'll be able to relate to damn near everybody.
Word.
Like
Yeah.
growing up out here, you kind of like you get a mixture of everything. So you just know how to handle yourself accordingly. I never went out of town, felt out of place anywhere, anything like that. It's kind of more so like same people everywhere, but
Yeah,
you just
no,
gotta you just gotta find them.
for sure. Yeah.
So growing up, so you moved back with you said your aunt and your grandma when you were a baby.
Yeah, moved back to the house, my family house on 105, and really was raised there. You know, I would go back to Cali every summer and visit my aunt in Compton, LA area, and then I would also go to the Bay for about a week or so and visit my father's side of the family.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
So
I
you have
got
both
roots.
sides out there.
Yeah, I got roots in San Francisco. Actually, Fillmore is where my dad was from, and yeah, he was half black, half Filipino. So I had a mixture of a lot of different cultures out there. My
Yeah.
grandmother was all Filipino, so I had cousins that were, fully more Filipino,
Yeah.
some black Filipinos, some white Filipinos, some Arabic Filipinos, like the United Nations going over there, like for real. Like it was all. I got first cousins that look like you, bro.
Yeah, I
Like
believe it.
first cousins, like
Yeah.
crazy. I got a first cousin. Her name's Jessica. So her mom was my aunt, half black, half Filipino, married an Australian cat. She's white with blonde hair and blue eyes, like skin
Yeah.
complexion, and she's my first cousin. So, my brother is like looks similar to me. I haven't seen him in a while, but we were all like, and nobody was tripping on none of that. We was family.
Yeah. Didn't know no better. It is what it is at that
Yeah,
point.
nobody. Yeah, like that was a good thing about seeing that because even though you mix with a lot of people here, it wasn't so much the case growing up here.
Yeah.
It was very, I'm not gonna say like prejudice or nothing. It was just segregated
Yeah.
due to the structure of the city of
Yeah.
Cleveland, Northeast Ohio, Ohio, kind of like in general.
And that's how people immigrate too. They usually find a little pocket, like certain cultures or whatever,
Yeah,
and then
but out there it's like whatever. It's more about your economic status.
yeah.
So you
Out here,
got.
everybody kind of more so on the same level for the most part.
Yeah, out there it don't matter your race. It's about your chase, and that's how people are grouped. Like you
Yeah.
can afford to live here, you can afford to live there. And that's how you got a lot of your mixes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you started to kind of go back out to Cali?
Oh shit, I was 6, 7, all the way up until probably up until like the ninth grade, and then that's unfortunately when my grandmother passed,
Okay.
and the trips kind of stopped. And my aunt that I was very close with, my father died when I was 2.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to
yeah.
hear that.
But my aunt and my grandma would always send for me. And then when she passed, and then my aunt went to jail, unfortunately, who was my real link, I kind of lost a lot of track with my father's side of the family. So,
Right.
but up until then, it was very constant. I would go out there and and do a lot.
I was about to say that's your whole adolescence, 6
Well, it would
to
be like
ninth
the
grade.
summer, so I would spend like a week, maybe 2 weeks at the
Yeah.
most, in Oakland, and
Still, I remember being young. I feel like those years
I remember a
they
lot,
feel a
yeah.
lot longer than just a year.
yeah,
When I look back when I was young and stuff. So would you say being out there
yeah, it
is
opened
it
me
fair
up
to
to
say
a
that
lot.
influenced like
It
your
influenced a whole
style and
lot,
everything?
a lot of style, just a lot. My family out there had a lot more means than my family here. So when I went out there, I was able to experience and do a lot more different things. As well as in LA, it was just more exposure to more things, and it was
Yeah.
different cultures, different weather, different styles, different music. different things to do, different foods. I
Yeah.
had pizza with pineapple on it for the first time.
Word.
And a lot of the food, stuff like that. My grandma cooked up a lot of Filipino food. So, like the noodles and egg rolls and different Filipino dishes. I didn't know what I was eating, but I knew it was good.
Yeah, it was banging
I know
though.
the wok was frying and shit. Yeah, and it was cool. It's good stuff.
That's what's up. So even though growing up, going back out there, it was only for a couple weeks at a time, but what were some of the biggest differences you noticed between how people act and move out there and then act and move
It
here?
was a lot more easy going. Here we got a lot of, it's the Rust Belt, man. We little tense, little,
Yeah.
know how it is. There, it's more chill, people smiling,
Mhm.
the weather's better, and it's just a different demeanor, so to speak.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's kind of what I picked up on.
So just like attitude overall.
Yeah, and then just, logistics. Yeah, different forms of transportation. I got on, I think, what it's called the BART back then, the Bay Area
Is that the
Regional
thing that be in the
Transit.
street?
No, the BART is like their subway. Then you
Oh,
got the
okay.
train, you got the trolleys that are like the attached to the
That's
cable
yep,
cars and stuff.
exactly.
Then you got a regular bus.
Hmm.
You had the taxis booming. Like you can go on the corner and catch a taxi. Like
Right,
here,
right.
it's crickets. And even back then, especially now. But they had the BART. It actually went underwater.
Oh shit.
The Golden State Bridge and going out, on the water, eating the seafood and just different logistical things and um, stuff like that. Also opened my mind up to different things. And, when you were a kid, just get your head turning and, different nuggets and stuff like that.
Yeah. And then just staying on growing up, being out in both
Oh,
places.
Chris Webber played there too. And I
Oh,
was a
where?
big Fab Five fan. And he played for the Warriors. And my aunt knew that. So she took me like to a Warriors game.
Oh, that's tight.
Got me like, different trading cards and all that kind of stuff.
That's
So I was
hard.
happy about that
Yeah, I'm sure that's an ill experience.
for sure.
Oh, I get to see him while I'm out here for this little bit of
Had the
time.
Warriors jersey with the Air Max, the Barkley Air
Oh,
Max
that's
that the
tight.
Fab Five wore.
Yeah,
Wore that bitch every
you did
day.
it up.
Yeah. With the Jabos, you couldn't tell me nothing. Tommy
Hell
jean
yeah,
jacket,
shit on it. That's
not
hard.
not a damn thing.
So, what would you say was your biggest influence from being out on the West Coast growing up, and biggest influence living out here in Cleveland?
Influence in regards to like what? Like
Just like something that like
I say
just you took away from the
yeah,
time you spent in both
I
places.
was able to get like just a better attitude on the West Coast. Like it's okay to be chill and not, it's just more of a relaxed, more of a like it's okay
Yeah,
type of influence. And then music too. I think, um, I first heard like E40 stuff like that out there. That was very heavy on that.
oh, GE42.
Yeah, Too Short. And then like my OGs from the hood in Cleveland though brought me up on that as well.
Hmm.
But like just hearing it and everybody listening to it out there
Yeah,
was
you
a
hear it
little
out of everybody's
for
cars.
sure. And all different rates. I was like, oh, wait a minute. White people listen to rap?
Hmm.
Oh, Spanish people, Puerto Rican,
Yeah,
China. Because then
Mexicans,
back then,
Asians.
before I knew what Filipino people were, because I am, I guess,
Yeah, yeah,
Filipino in my
yeah.
family. But growing up here, you just thought you see an Asian of descent, Asian person, you always just called them a Chinese person.
Yeah, for
So I'm
sure.
like, damn, Chinese people listen to rap too. I
Hmm.
didn't know.
Yeah.
In Cleveland, only for a long time in Cleveland, like the only interaction I had with white people, I was blessed to get bused when I was in school
Oh,
here.
okay.
So
Yeah.
you go to the west side and it was other people. I had white friends,
Hmm.
Asian friends, Latino friends. But when I get back home, you don't see a white person for days on St. Clair back in,
Right.
the 80s and early 90s and shit.
Hmm.
It was like, yo, what? So you think you don't know how other people are. So that was a big influence on me is like people
Yeah.
out there.
That, that
Yeah.
that reads for sure. Definitely more of like a melting pot out there where everybody's just kind of thrown in.
And I would say here influences just in life would be just like grit, you know what I'm saying, having to be tough by not necessarily on nature, but by circumstance, and just
Yeah.
having to know how to like get busy and hold your own, or you know, you're not gonna be holding shit. So
Right.
Cleveland definitely taught me that, and common sense, you know, just the environment, having to know certain things at an early age, you know,
Mm.
that influenced me to always, like I say, read the room and know where you at and know how to move type stuff. So learned
Right.
that right here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And then talking about like having to be aware and stuff like that, what would you say is kind of like one of the moments that you were like, okay, I gotta make sure I'm handling this properly. Things could go one way or another, and not even necessarily anything like super crazy or nothing like that. But
Oh
how old do you think you were when you first had to like actually think
man,
about something like that?
honestly, when I jumped off the porch, and you know, it was a time in my life that I was involved in the streets, and
Mm.
you know, it was all fun. You thought everybody was doing it, it's cool, but then you started seeing like people go to jail.
Yeah,
So
real
you like,
consequences
so you
coming.
like, yo, wait, okay, this is not all fun. You know, for some
Mm.
of my friends, it was fun. Like, you know, I go to jail, whoop de doo. Not for me. I
Yeah,
wasn't raised like that. So
yeah, that jail's not cool.
nah, but you know, for some people, you know, where I come from, you know, they didn't have the same
No, for
upbringing
sure. Some people
and
look at it
morals
like,
in the
yep,
household and stuff like that. So you know, it was like, I got caught, man. I holler at y'all. You
yeah, I'll be
know,
back.
nah, not for me.
Like, yeah,
I
that don't sound cool.
nah.
I'm
So
not cool with that.
you know, and then I wouldn't just say that too. School, cause I was in honors,
Well, how old were you at that time when you jumped off the porch?
man, 14,
Okay,
15.
yeah.
You know,
So around
but
the
I would
time
say
you
actually before
stopped.
that I would say school because I was in honors,
Mhm.
gifted classes for a while. Actually, all the way up until I got kicked out um, for jumping off the porch
Yeah,
behavior. But yeah, school. You got to do what you got to do to maintain, you know, your grades and your status, and to do better. So yeah, school first. I was yeah, for sure.
word. Yeah, that makes sense. And then, so you said around like 14, 15, you started dabbling, all that stuff. So
Yeah,
that's around the same time you stopped going to Cali too.
exactly.
Did
So yeah, all the good stuff started phasing out, and
right.
the you know the shit that I was gravitating towards and thinking was cool.
Yeah.
You know,
Would you say kind of losing that connection and your grandma and out there, would you say that kind of contributed in any way
mm,
looking back?
somewhat. I would just say my environment back home,
Mm.
here. You know, unfortunately, the area I was in was just
Yeah. So you
filled
think
with
even if you were still going out there yearly, you still would
probably. So
have?
if I was still every day living where I was at,
Hmm.
you know, man, 90% of my friends dabbled or
Yeah.
were all the way
Right.
engulfed into a particular lifestyle because of, you know, you just can't escape it.
Circumstances.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you got the economic constraints and things of that nature that force a lot of people
Yeah. If you're
to
born
do
into whatever you're born into, it's kind of
poverty.
hard to. Yeah. Exactly.
Poverty, bro.
It's
You
damn near
know,
impossible to get out.
yeah, and then just peer pressure as a youth still, you know, it was different kinds of pressures.
Yeah.
You know, it was a pressure
You
to
only got so many people that could be your friends
yeah, you
around where you
know.
live.
And then just the peer pressure, you know, you want the J's like everybody else. You step outside, you go on the block, everybody, you know, for the most part, G'd up and got it. And the only way they got it is by, you know, participating in certain behaviors to get
Yeah.
it. After a while, it's just like, as a kid, you know, it is
Yeah. I
what it
mean,
is.
all that definitely seems fine and dandy.
Yeah, and we didn't have a lot of like influences telling us you didn't have to do that, you
Yeah.
know, or outlets, you know, of
No one to
knowledge.
kind of point in another
Yeah, or just
direction, show you something
yeah, or
else.
just the knowledge. Like, yo, you
Yeah.
can do this.
Yeah.
You could start your
And be
own
able to show
brand.
you though too.
Yeah,
Because a lot of people, especially in those circumstances, a lot of people like to talk. They don't got nothing to show for nothing. They never acted on it. And if they did, it turned out not
a lot of
good.
the blind leading the blind.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
still to this day. You know,
Oh yeah, that ain't never gonna stop,
yeah.
unfortunately. So
You cut on your any social media app, and
yeah,
it's running
be whoever you
rampant.
want
Yeah,
from wherever you want.
man.
The internet's a wild place.
Yes.
So looking back on your early years coming up, uh, would you do anything differently, or do you like where you ended up and the knowledge you gained from having to do X, Y, or Z?
Um, for me personally, I've been blessed to be where I'm at now based off of the experiences I had. But yeah, I would definitely do a lot of things different. There's things that I would do different yesterday, you know, because of that experience, from a professional standpoint, not to kind of get off, but I would have, at a young age, the things that I was into, I would pick up the tangible skills to be able to execute them later on down in a professional manner. I would have put more emphasis into that. Um, while I still had the time and the youth. It's never
Yeah.
too late, by the way, to
No,
do any of
never.
that. But while you're like young and growing and learning, it's like it becomes a part of you,
Yep. It's the
second
best time
nature.
to learn anything when you're young.
Yeah. So I always say when I had kids, whatever, or just people in general, young people that are around me, like, and I ask them what are they into or passionate about. I try and tell them it's a way you can make that a flip.
Yep.
You know, if you learn about it and learn how to like everything about it and how to do it and pick up the skill set, to turn that into a profession or to turn it into some dollars.
Yeah, hell
So that's
yeah.
one thing I would have done different. Like a lot of the things that I'm into now, when I was younger and had a lot of the time to actually be more well-rounded and well-versed on it, no matter what it is,
Yeah.
I would pick up those skills to do it. Um, then just decision making, it's a lot of things that I wouldn't have done that I feel like hinder my processes, you know, whether it was drinking at too much of an early age, you know, how I was involved with the streets, you know, just a lot of stuff I would not have done, you know, for sure.
What would be one of the most important things you would tell your younger self coming from your 2024 self?
Um, to not let insecurity um, dictate how you move, you know.
That's
That's something I
fire.
tell myself to this day, which is, it's a real thing. So I think a lot of people struggle with that.
Yeah,
Um,
a lot of people look in the mirror or think to themselves too long and don't
yeah, and they
like
feel
what they
like they got to
see or
have
hear.
success in order for that to be true or possible,
Well,
which we,
yeah, because
yeah,
now people measure success based off what we can all see now, which is
this is
the
bullshit.
some insanely level shit.
Yeah, like success to me is just being comfortable with
Yeah.
who you are and what you want to do. Fuck what somebody else has or what the status quo is doing, or because social media, we all know 90% of these people aren't doing that anyway.
Yeah.
And then also, I've been privileged to see a lot of people that we think are doing this or happy with a lot of the stuff that they have that aren't. So to me, like real happiness is being happy with what you really want to do, and
Yeah.
cliche, living in your truth,
Yeah,
living in
yeah.
your light,
Exactly.
living in your purpose. As corny as that shit sounds, it's
It's a
something I
lot of
feel
truth
like
in that.
bases off of just being confident. So don't let the insecurity, like somebody telling you, nah, don't do that, do it like within reason. Because sometimes
Exactly,
people be having
always.
like shit that don't make sense, like aspirations that are like
Yeah.
un that aren't smart.
Yeah.
There's ways to get to it, but you got to be realistic. I don't think anything is
Yeah, it's
unrealistic.
like someone who's 5'3", 200 pounds, like, hey, I'm about to go to the
Oh
NBA.
yeah,
Like maybe not the
I
NBA
want to be
player.
a gymnast or something like
Yeah.
But there, you can work in the NBA. You
Yeah,
could
there's
be a
still
coach. You could
other
be a trainer.
jobs.
You could style these dudes. You could, come up with video. It's all kind of just different things.
Yeah.
You
You
could
don't gotta
do.
be the one on the court to be involved in the same kind of thing.
Nah, shit, mess around and on the team. Be Steve Ballmer. I'd rather be Steve Ballmer than Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah,
You
hell
feel me?
yeah.
So,
1,000,000%.
hmm
There's definitely other ways into the same avenues.
yeah, and that's something too. A lot of we didn't have back then. And I feel like, you know, young kids have now, or people in general, they have access to knowledge and can understand that they can do it.
Yeah.
Like growing up, I didn't think it was even possible to, get into these fields that I'm in now, fashion, music, um, entertainment, just all things non-conventional from where we come from. This is blue collar city, so
Yeah. All I knew is you go to school for a little bit if you want and then
pick
get
up a
a
trade, go to
job.
yeah, all of that type of jazz.
Like,
So
okay, that sounds good, I guess.
construction, GE,
Hmm.
Ford, work, nah.
Yeah.
So
My dad's still trying to get me to work at Ford. It's not a bad job, but
yeah,
you got to put in that work for it to pay
I
off.
tell him, man, I really does this,
Yeah.
once you
Really got
see
to do what
this,
you got to do sometimes, but
oh yeah,
shit.
yeah, for sure. I mean, then I'm not exempt,
Yeah, no, hell
I
no.
will say I feel like out of all the work now, even though it's still a struggle, everybody has their struggles. I am blessed to actually be able to work and do all things that
Yeah.
I'm like actually kind of care about and are passionate about.
Hell
But
yeah.
it's still a struggle to make the shit shake
A
for sure.
million percent. It's
Yeah.
even more so when you're doing something like that than if you know you're guaranteed X amount of dollars every week,
Oh,
every two
that's
weeks, every month.
entrepreneurship 101.
Yeah.
You don't know. One day, like we used to say in the hood, one day headline, and next day breadline.
For real
Yes,
though.
sir. So that's
Yeah.
how it go until you really get your foundation and get your shit rolling how it needs to go. You know,
A million percent. So you touched on music, you touched on clothes. Which did you kind of fall in love with first?
both man. It's
At
the
the
equal
same
things.
time?
No, yeah, it's
Yeah.
all the same for me.
Yeah.
Um, you know, you hear the music and you go and look and see what they wearing or whatever.
A million percent.
You see, it's just all. You get dressed every day listening to music.
True story.
Feel me? So
Hmm.
it's both for real, for real. And when you got a good mix of both of them together, it's like heaven for me. So
Yeah.
throw in some good food.
Food, that's all I need.
Back, a couple of years ago, it's good bottle of champagne or something,
Hmm.
and an outfit and a song, and a
Yeah, I'm
nice,
cool. I don't
something
even gotta
nice,
go nowhere.
something soft, nice to look at.
Yeah. Hell
Perfect
yeah.
world.
So obviously you've done both on higher than average levels to people that attempt both. You know what I mean? Music and
Yeah.
creating a brand. What would you say at this point you kind of care about more personally?
Well, it would have to be, fashion and apparel because that's how, I make a living for
Hmm.
one, majority of how I make a living.
Yeah.
And as an adult and a responsible adult now, it's a responsibility that I have not only to myself, but to the business,
Hmm.
to my partners, to the people that I work with, my team members. It's not just about me.
Yeah.
So I can't, when your passion becomes your business, it's bigger than you. When you have other people involved, so I have to be very mindful of how, I move with any all the other stuff because it
Yeah.
can have a negative or a positive effect on the main thing. So right now, see these L's behind me, and a lot of other things associated with the fashion business and apparel take precedence. I still love music. I still dibble and dabble and go in and do stuff. But right now, I can't really focus on that or let that
Right.
affect what I have going on now.
Yeah.
If opportunity permits later on down the line,
You still
you
got
might
the
catch
love
me in
for
the
it.
oh for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah, yeah.
freestyle every day.
Oh yeah,
I was
okay.
freestyling in the Uber
Still putting
to
shots up
myself in
there.
my head. Yeah,
Yeah,
got to.
yeah.
But and that's just a part of I feel like being creative to
Hmm.
oneself. That's what I like to do. I don't have to try to make $1 million off of it,
Yeah.
for it to be beneficial in my life either.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I could go to somebody's studio and make a song and just keep it to myself or get it to the
Yeah.
homies, but
Yep.
I'm getting that creative
Output.
flow out
Hmm.
that is needed,
Yeah, hell yeah.
because with this business, it drains you out of like your love sometimes for what it is that you
Hell
do. It
yeah.
can be can be very depressing. And I think everybody can relate to that. So you need to always find that time for it to be fun, and not necessarily the job, not necessarily a deadline you got to meet, or you can get burnt out on it and start hating the shit. So
Million
if you
percent.
got something else that you can do, to fulfill that part. But long story short, definitely fashion right now,
Yeah.
definitely.
And so with music, have you heard anything in the past few years where you're like, damn, I want to get in the booth?
All the time, man. So much dope shit out here,
Yeah,
bro.
hell yeah.
Yeah, I fuck with all kinds of music. So I really love to see like younger people like bring their own twist on a lot of the things that
That's already
that
going.
that was a part of my generation or even before me, because they were doing the same thing.
Yeah,
A lot of
everybody's
these, I
flipping
hate when
old
like
shit.
older cats trying like they were doing the same thing. Like
Yeah. How you think you
them
got what
niggas
you
was
like?
flipping James Brown samples. That shit wasn't. They just didn't go in there and make. They was flipping jazz
Yep.
samples and flipping this or flipping that and doing that and making it dope.
Well, that's how
This
rap started, scratching
yeah.
other records.
So this generation is taking old rap songs or old other stuff and adding a twist to it, and it's dope. I think it may not be what
As easy on your ears.
somebody my age. No, that's cool. It depends what you
Well,
like.
no, I just meant like in general, people might not
It's
be
all
able to
opinion
listen to certain
based.
shit.
Music, fashion. I feel like it's a barometer of how you measure things.
Yeah.
Originality, creativity. You know, and then after that, a lot of this is opinion based because everybody
Oh, all of it.
likes what they like. I feel like if you why you like something matters. Like, do you like it because you really like it, or do you like it because the algorithm telling you to like it, or
Yeah.
somebody that you think is popular, or you out here clout chasing what you like, which is a lot of it
Yeah, that's
today.
just what a hype beast is.
But yeah, exactly. But some people, might genuinely like some shit I don't like, and I don't have no problem with that.
Yeah, like, okay, for sure.
But it's all opinion based. I feel like when you true to whatever it is, and that's your vibe, and you good at it, it's good. Prime example, like the mumble rap shit, right? I get it. Like a lot of people my age are like, yo, that shit. I get it though. I get the art inside of it. Like
Yeah.
it's and it was certain things like when I was growing up, older people were like, the older rap people was like, yo, that's garbage, and it's like a cycle for real.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all kind of dope shit out here. New and old, recycled in the mix. It's like it's very liberal in a good way and a bad way because it's also a lot of trash.
Oh
To me,
yeah.
it's a lot of like
If you can
people
have
bringing back shit that should have stayed
yeah.
that wasn't cool back then. Just because it's like old doesn't mean it needs to be brought back. You know what I'm saying?
If you
So
can have a Drake or a Kendrick, you gotta have the complete opposite of whatever you hold that to. So if you got the best of the best, you gotta have the worst of the worst. And sometimes
yeah, like
they can
clothes,
ease
for
their way
example,
up.
like in my circle, man, we wasn't rocking like, and no disrespect, I wasn't wearing FUBU. I wasn't wearing like just some of these things that somebody would just go and grab because it's old.
Right.
So that's kind of like where I sit on things with that.
So when you were in high school, how did you obviously stop going out to Cali? What did you settle into for your trajectory of your life? Like what was your age now looking like when you were going through high school? What did you think you was about to be doing?
Man, I thought I was gonna be like what my rappers was talking about, move a bunch of keys and start a business. And,
Yeah.
I was trying to, be like Biggie, Nas, and Jay-Z, man, and Master P, and just trying to figure it out. I really didn't necessarily say I had to focus on the the end goal, like per se a business or anything like
Yeah.
that. I was just more so concerned about being fresh, bro, and getting money and hustling. That was it. You know, I had in my phone and like My boys Rich and Show used to like make fun of me, or not make fun of me, but be like, "Yo, you tripping?" I used to have Money, Dope, and Polo in my Star Tech MDP, because that's where my mind was at. Like,
Yeah, that was your whole thing.
get and the money aspect of it was just chasing a better life, chasing, trying to get the money for the things that we lacked in,
Yeah, hell yeah.
growing up or didn't have access to. And then, the dope, that was just being
That's how you
stupid.
get the
That's what
money.
I was doing, yeah. And then Polo was just the style, man. We was low lifes, Ralph Lauren, everything, literally
Yeah.
everything. So that's what I was on back then. And then, towards like senior year and going into college, we did start trying to create like business opportunities. Shout out to Put It On Entertainment, my boy Aaron Nichols, known as Showtime Coach Show, who I'm still with to this day. Rich Paul, my boy Dame Noel, my boy Yusuf Gilmore. We started this little crew, and we started throwing parties, man. In 1999, we did our first party.
Shit.
Yeah, we did a party called that Y2K shit at a church on
Was it
St.
like
Clair.
A New Year's Eve joint?
It was right before New Year's. Like,
Gotcha.
they thought everything was going,
Yeah, leading up to it.
yeah. And we did a party in our hood at this church that had a hall called St. Aloysius. It's still there on what street? On 108th and St. Clair. But we promoted it like almost how we promote now. Like we came out to Beechwood. We went to every mall in the city, passed out flyers. I think I still might have some of the flyers. I still got like our
That
banner.
would be tight.
Our moms or like, people that were in our life cooked the food. Cause it was like at a church hall.
Oh, that's fire. You
Yeah,
had
we
the
had my,
food and
my
all
uncle was
that.
like our treasurer. We had all the different hoods. The Heights was like a different thing back then. The Heights
Uh-huh.
wasn't hood back then. The Heights was really
Yeah, that's
the
what I
Heights. So
heard.
we had all the, cool Heights, suburbs. We had a lot of people come out. It was crazy. It was a good thing for about a solid hour. And then
Did the bullshit kicked in?
all did it. Yep. Yep. It was a beef going on in my hood that is, I think, still going on to this day.
Oh, damn.
And between, streets that's like 5 minutes apart from each other. They tore that hall up, man. But it was great because we made money, and it gave us some assurance that we carry to this day that you can do it.
Yeah,
And
hell
we did it on
yeah.
our own, and we got out and hustle, and it wasn't selling dope
Yeah.
to do it or shooting dice to do it or
Getting people
doing some of the
together.
other things. We worked, we put the work in, we executed, we had our meetings, we had meetings at my house. I still got some of our
y'all was
meeting
going
notes. I
all
think
out.
Rich would actually write the notes. I still got that stuff too, man. I gotta find it. My mom probably got it. We would have notes leading up to it, like how much is the food gonna cost? We're gonna sell pops. I want to say we might have was even selling liquor too. We were selling dinners. Our moms and aunts was in the kitchen. We had a DJ. It was lit.
Yeah, and I'm sure the next time y'all threw some, people was ready to
We
go.
threw it out the hood.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the hood, but it was okay. And then we also grew, started that's when college started coming in, and then the streets really started becoming a part of our life. Like right after high school, that's when
Yeah.
it got to a different level of that life.
Yeah, because now you in it all day.
Yeah, it's
Even
like
if you go to school, you still in it, but
no, it's
it's
like
other
now it's like
parameters.
it's serious now.
Yeah,
It's like,
full blown adult.
and you ain't no fucking around.
Yeah, you
It's
get
like life.
reprimanded.
It's real life or death now, and we talking real numbers and real situations and business with real guys, and the parties. It's like,
Yeah, hell yeah.
yeah, we gotta focus on these packs.
Yeah. So when did 8081 start?
8081.
How long?
I know when
after
it
that?
really started. It started when I met Kelton Crenshaw.
Okay. Shout outs to Kel, man.
Yeah, yep. And I
Keep
met
doing it
him. He went to school with Rich at Cleveland
Gotcha.
State, and this was like right around the time when Rich was establishing a relationship with LeBron. And I think they were classmates at Cleveland State, and Rich might have just stopped going to Cleveland State,
Mm-hmm.
and Kelt and Rich clicked automatically based off of like I think fashion. That's how a lot of people connect. That's how
Yeah.
fashion it took me through and put me in so many doors and so many different like atmospheres and rooms and walks of life. Fashion is like a universal language, and I think that's how Kelton and Rich got cool. And Kelton was working for Rich and Maverick Carter at the time. We're
Gotcha.
helping them out because
Yeah.
they were throwing parties.
Yeah.
Parties is a good conduit into all kind of stuff
Hell
and a good way to
yeah.
make money and to network and to
Meet
have
everybody.
fun and yeah, all of that. So Kelt was helping them out, and I was still in the streets crazy, but these was my boys and my friends. You
Yeah.
know, I just started getting cool with Mav and Bron and all the Akron homies. It's now my family. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just going to the parties, hanging out with my homies. But you know, my mind is like, yo, y'all making money off this. Okay, okay. So Kelt was over Richard's house one day, and I was like, yo, what you? We think we had on like similar type clothes, maybe some SBs or something. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, damn. I'm like, you work with them, bro? He's like, yeah. I'm like, are you making some money, huh? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right. So we exchanged info. He was working at Progressive Insurance, and I was doing what I was doing, and we would talk every day, and we developed a friendship, brotherhood, and then next thing you know, we just started putting our minds together. We convinced Rich to be a part of this thing we trying to do, and we started throwing parties, man, and that shit took off. Yeah,
Hell
it
yeah.
didn't necessarily take off from jump,
Mm-hmm.
but it was a grind, and we started something special. But that's how 8081 officially started. You know, Steph went to school with Rich at Benedictine, and I don't know how Steph came into play after that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, in this particular
Well,
time,
y'all would have needed a DJ or something. Was he
yeah, but
DJing
Steph
at the
didn't even know
time?
how to DJ. Steph is the ultimate
Oh,
hustler, bro.
got you.
Ultimate hustler. But
That's
once
crazy.
again, just like-minded people, because Steph is from Kinsman.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Rich are from St. Clair. Who's a part of 8081, basically too, is
Mm-hmm.
from St. Clair. Jamil and Kelton are from the Heights. So you got people that technically aren't supposed to
Yeah.
mixing based upon the culture, bro. You know what I'm saying? Similarities. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we like clothes. We like to be, you know, we had a business acumen of some sort. We like to have fun. We really wasn't with the drama. We like to, at that time mess with the ladies. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just do what normal young, 20
Not looking to
something year
crash
old
out and
guys.
shit.
Nah, hell no.
Mm-hmm.
We trying to crash in, crash out. Nah, man, wasn't nobody on that. You
Right.
know. But yeah, that's how 8081 started. You know, just the culture bringing people together when togetherness wasn't necessarily like the cool thing to do.
Right. So, what year would you say that was?
I would say that probably like Bron's second year, thirdish year, because we actually threw our first
So, like oh
party.
04, oh
Yeah,
05.
our first party wasn't an 8081 party. It was an EFK party.
Okay, what that stand for?
Eddie, Frankie, and Kelton.
Got you.
We did a party before LeBron's rookie year in Akron at Harry Buffalo.
Oh shit.
It was a Nike Battlegrounds party. And we was just like, yo, we can do it. Because I think like maybe Rich and Mav were too tied up. Randy, it was beneath them,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And it was an opportunity that may have fell in our lap, or we might have just been ear hustling, or somebody might have told us, yo, y'all do it, and we gonna coach y'all how to do it, blah, blah, blah. And it was jumping. Obviously, LeBron back then was a rock star like he is now,
Hell
but
yeah.
locally, and Ti was hosted. It was some crazy shit. So it was like a
Oh,
layup.
that's
It
hard.
was a layup for us for real.
Yeah.
And then we that died out, but we still going out, and we noticed that there was a need for something to do, because all like the safe things to do in Cleveland was like super stiff. It was like blazers and jeans, and like
Yeah, yeah. That's that era of going out.
cornball shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I mean, some of it was fun, but it wasn't. At the time, I started traveling and going to New York and LA and seeing how people are able to to execute cool stuff and still have a sophisticated level to it, but it
Yeah.
not be, you know,
You don't need a dress
some
code
shit your
for it.
parents might be, doing type stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A cocktail party and shit.
Nah,
Yeah.
nah. So we felt there was a void for that,
Mm-hmm.
and we kind of, worked at building it and building the culture. And I would say that was like '06, you know, '03, about '06, somewhere in there.
Word. And then when I was talking to King instead, shout out to Clico Club.
The
King
homies,
King was telling
Rossi
me,
Mafia, Clico Club.
yeah, shout
Yeah.
outs. King was telling me y'all had like a blog and everything.
Oh yeah, I mean, it
I'm
went
not
from
assuming that was like at the
no,
very
no, it was
start, but
no, it grew. So we started doing the parties, and we started a website, you know, and on that website, we had to have content. So we started um, just doing stuff like recaps, uploading the pictures from the parties. Everybody locally would go to the website because they wanted to see the pictures.
yeah,
So the
that
comments started turning into like the message board and
that's
how people
fire.
would interact. All of the comments. We started getting a little bit more in depth into the website. Different athletes that would come to town. We would interview.
Oh, this
And
was
then
a
just like
whole thing.
just hustling in the culture, you build a rapport with people, so you build a network. We started doing this thing called Hustlers Watch. We would interview people locally and like our contemporaries and friends from other cities and states, shit, countries for real, and get their perspective on culture and what they had going on. We started doing parties with different groups. Shout out to Hustle Simmons from Chicago, who was actually a part of 8081. He started 8081 Chicago. He just posted something recently too.
Oh, that's fire. Branched out.
Yeah, and the Joe Fresh Goods, the Vic Lloyds, the Ties, who's from Cincinnati. We started building with the homies from Columbus, DC, early. You know what I'm saying? And we just started building a network. We interviewed Virgil, you know,
Oh, that's hard.
Heron Preston, Ryan Leslie, Vashti. Vashti came out and hosted parties. You know what I'm saying? Kid Cudi, Drake. We did Drake's mixtape party for So Far So Gone in Toronto. So parties was
Oh
like,
yeah, wasn't that damn near like a Leak Jones release too? No, I'm thinking of a different project.
nah, this was So Far So
Yeah,
Gone
yeah.
that put him on the map. Like his mixtape that we did at the after party, it was a LeBron pregame / Drake mixtape album release party in Toronto.
That's fire.
That's facts. You know what I'm saying? And we interviewed Drake. That interview is still around on the internet now. That's how that relationship built. So through parties though, you know, and it just started growing. We was doing all kind of shit, man. We was doing activations with Next, combining the fashion world with the parties, with the music. We were doing mixtapes. We were featuring up and coming artists on the website, mixtapes on the website, and it just started. This culture started bubbling, and Cleveland started. People started paying attention to Cleveland a little bit because a lot of people would come here just to watch LeBron play.
Yeah, yeah.
So when
From
they
all
were
over the
here,
world.
you kind of need something to do, and we were able to utilize that as a resource for us. You know, when you know for a fact such and such is coming for a game, let's throw a party. Let's interview them. Bam. So now we giving the city something to do that's above the city. We also building a rapport with people from other places. And mind you, you build that rapport here. When you go to their city, they hold you
Oh
down.
yeah,
So you
it's all
start
love.
networking there and building the network there. And that's how I started, moving around in the New Yorks and the LAs and shit everywhere, bro. Based off of what we were able to build here. And I tell people that a lot. Like if you can't get lit where you from, good luck going somewhere else. And not even get lit, but just build some sort of foundation.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you know, a lot of people do have to move on to scale up or to even get recognized, but you can start building your structure, even if it's internally, wherever you at. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? and
Like
that
you said,
matter.
the foundation.
Yeah, and that matters. You know, you go somewhere and people look back and see what you doing where you at. Like you go to New York, it's a million and one ducks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but me being the only duck from Cleveland and having all this stuff in my backpack on my tool belt makes me bigger when I go somewhere else. So I've
Yeah.
always been able to utilize that and love Cleveland for that, and I'll never front on Cleveland for giving me that opportunity and also giving me the game that I got, bro. Like it ain't like I travel and pick up nuggets and nah, I this all this shit I learned on St. Clair, bro. You
That's
know,
hard.
and took it to other places and was able to adapt anywhere with the game I learned here and move around and learn to even receive the knowledge I learned in other places. I had to learn what I learned here first, you know.
Yeah, just to be able to get in certain doors or talk to certain people or
Yeah.
oh, you have a mutual interest or something with
Yeah,
somebody from
and just
across
my
the
morals,
world.
man. Just
Yeah.
what I believe in, and that shit is universal everywhere, and people that shit speaks a language everywhere.
Yeah, love.
Yep.
Just love and
And
sincerity.
genuineness. They say
Yeah.
keep it G. It ain't keeping it gangster. It's just being
Yeah,
genuine,
keeping it
bro, to
genuine.
what it is that you are, bro.
Hmm.
So the G code, basically.
Yeah,
You know.
that's hard.
But
So
yeah,
looking back on everything that you've been through, been able to accomplish, where where are you looking to now for the future? Obviously, you have the brick and mortar layer store here in Cleveland, Beachville
yeah,
Mall. Um, we see Rich doing a lot of stuff with New Balance.
yeah. So yeah, I worked with him on that too with Clutch Athletics. That's something that I'm very passionate about, and something that I'm involved with as well. Um, so yeah, Layer, Clutch Athletics, some other projects that people will be hearing about pretty soon, um, that aren't in fashion and music, but are part of the culture that I'm working on, and really just growing this business. It's a lot of work, scaling up. You'll see Layer and a lot of other places very soon. We got some pretty dope collabs coming up and bigger projects that are going to be recognized locally and globally. So, just trying to grow it and to be real, to just stay afloat, bro.
Yeah,
Hustling. Like, this is an everyday grind, man. I'm not nowhere near where I want to be, but definitely see, able to start seeing some light at the end of the tunnel. And it's fun, like when you get to the end of this tunnel, it's another tunnel. Like, it just keeps going. And, some, tunnels are different. I want to be able to help other people, inspire other people, um, and just keep creating all things that I'm passionate about and make it real. That's that's the hustle for me. You know.
yeah, hell yeah. So with that, obviously this is number one interest right now, but you also love food.
Oh yeah,
And being a traveler such as
yeah.
yourself, where do you hold here being on some of the best food?
Well, kinds of food because we have some food here that you really can't get anywhere else.
Exactly. So I'm more so asking just like if you had to put everything from a region into one and give it like a letter. Like, okay, Cleveland, I'll say B for food, variety, taste, just stuff like that. Who would you say has like the top three food? What cities? Like just obviously your taste.
Excluding Cleveland, because I'm partial to Cleveland, and we have some great chefs here in Cleveland and great restaurants. Shout out to Chef Dante, Chef Rocco. Shout out to my boy Tommy Sanito. He's a great young restaurateur, entrepreneur, Marble Room, Il Venetian. My boy Todd Lebo with the last page. Then a host of other like really dope restaurants that I'm partial to. So I'm gonna leave Cleveland out of it. I would have to say, you know, yeah. Can I do four, five,
Yeah, sure.
five?
Top five.
And actually take New York and LA out of it because they don't count, man. You know, I would say top
Because
top three. I'm gonna go New Orleans, Las Vegas, and Miami.
yeah, Miami got the
Miami just
culture.
because of the a lot of the Hispanic and Latin culture and Caribbean culture. It's just crazy. And then you got the high end just because of like
The
the
money.
luxury factor, the
Yeah.
money. You got all like just anything from steak houses to your Italian carbones and just all of the good stuff. But then like from an ethnic standpoint, you got the Caribbean vibes. You got
Yeah.
the
You go to a
the
gas station and get some
Hispanic.
fire food.
Man, it's amazing. You
Mm.
know, um, New Orleans. All the what is New Orleans again? The
The
uh the
gumbos.
gumbos, but it's what is it? Hey, I'm it's inspired the French cuisine, but what is
Oh
it called?
yes, yes.
Whatever they got it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
it's amazing.
Cajun.
Cajun, yeah, but it's something else. I forget. But it's amazing food, bro, and it's specific to New Orleans. You really
Yeah.
can't get it. No, like the way that they char grill the oysters, the beignets, the desserts, the different foods, the Cajun. You can't get it. You can't recreate that. I don't care where you go.
Right.
And then Las Vegas is just they have to have all kinds of great foods because everybody goes there.
Yeah.
It's Sin City. It's just
Got to cater to everybody.
all kinds of yeah, and then the hospitality.
Hmm.
When you getting a good meal with great service, it just makes it that much better. And then they also have a culture, a lot of really good Asian inspired and Asian culture foods in Vegas. Shout out to my man Chris Gillian from Fruition and works with Ye now, but he opened my eyes up to like the underground Las Vegas subculture and just like all the different like ethnic foods and things going on there. Vegas is like really slept on when it comes to like the backstory of their food. I'm sure everybody knows like all the high end restaurants that are forced to go to Vegas to do like flagship restaurants.
Hmm.
That's all good. And all the dope hotels, casinos with all this great food. They also have like an underworld of just
Damn. Yeah.
amazing food and fashion and culture in general in Vegas. People
Yeah.
not really hip to. Yeah.
Yeah, and that makes sense too. It's just such an influx of people. There's got to be another side to it that just the people that just live in
Yeah, it's a
there.
world of Vegas outside of the strip. It's like a
Yeah.
real big city.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, big city, bro.
Yeah.
That people that live in Vegas, they don't go. They like the strip. I'm not going there.
Yeah, you never hear about
Nah,
people talking about Vegas when it comes to food, but that definitely makes sense.
fire,
Yeah.
fire food, bro.
Would,
Yeah,
would you put them in any specific order or just a toss up of those three?
I would probably go for because Vegas pulls a lot more so
Mm,
from other places. I would probably go New Orleans, Miami, Vegas,
I fuck with
but
that.
nothing tops New York or LA.
Yeah. Yeah, you just get
Well,
whatever.
nothing tops Cleveland. But then
Yeah, after that.
the
After
trickle the
that.
trickle down effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've only been in New Orleans once, and it was for maybe 16 hours.
Did you get a chance to experience any of the food?
Yeah, so I was able to stop at a couple places by Sneaker Politics out there. I know they got a
Oh,
few out there,
shout out to
but
Sneaker Politics. I don't know
yeah,
if they
yeah.
know me per se, but they used to carry the first brand I was a part of, Tackman.
Yeah,
They
hell yeah.
kept
They
a lot
they
of
were one of the
Tackman.
big
Yeah,
suppliers of
yeah, and
Tacoma.
I got a lot of I rock out with New Orleans on the people
Yeah, shout out
aspect.
Derek Curry. That's the owner.
Okay, yep. Shout
Shout
out
out to D.
Currency. Shout out
The Spitter.
Currency was also a big part of 8081's story back
Oh,
in the
where?
day. Yeah, he came to Cleveland a few times and rocked. That's the homie.
Hell
Rocked
yeah.
out with us. But New Orleans guy, my boy Brennan, Quiet B, who's a underground fashion legend. He's also LeBron stylist right now, but is well respected throughout the fashion world and a brother of mine too. So yeah, New Orleans has a lot of dope culture there. I mean, music. We not even about
Yeah.
to just
Yeah.
that's we don't even gotta talk about that.
Yeah, hell no. That's everybody should know that
Right,
if they
right.
don't. Now you do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just like so. Obviously, I was there for like sneakers or whatever at the time. Sneaker
Mm-hmm.
Politics was doing a Katrina 3 re-release,
Oh,
and they had
okay.
like it was like exclusive to them. They did like those special packaging, accessories, whatever. But
A lot of dope fashion that's birthed in New Orleans too.
yeah, hell
I mean, the
yeah.
whole everybody's bandanas and stuff, man.
hmm
Just
No
jewelry.
limit.
Let's
No
keep it.
limit. Cash
Yeah,
Money
we
was
all
a
know where that came. We
thing.
all know where that came from, man.
That's why it's even a debate if they should have did Lil Wayne or Kendrick at the Super Bowl. That's just how influential that whole era was.
Yeah, man. Come on, bro. That shit changed my life.
Yeah,
New
I'm
Orleans
sure.
music, bro.
hmm
No Limit. Um, Cash Money changed my life. I actually got into a fight over Master P and Jay-Z
Oh, word.
at Glenville, yeah. And I love Master P, but I was playing Hove, and back then people in Cleveland wasn't really rocking with Hove like that.
Yeah, most people wasn't rocking with Hope when he
And
came out.
Study Hall, yeah, I used Study Hall as like a gambling, like a casino.
Mhm.
Teacher used to let me do my thing in there.
You have a
So we
little
would all,
section to shoot dice at and
no, the
shit.
whole Study Hall was a casino.
Nigga had card games going and everything.
Card games, multiple dice games, people gambling on checkers, people whatever,
Oh
all of that,
shit.
or people just dipping out, chilling out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to pay to do that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So I would get a little rake, get a little take, hit the study hall
That
teacher
is
off because I learned it from my
fire.
older guys in the hood. That was my first job. Was working at a gambling house in the
Got
hood. That was my
you.
first job. So I took what I learned there to Glenville. So that was entrepreneur shit back then.
That is
But
fire.
long story
man.
short, I was playing Hove that just came out, Reasonable Doubt, and playing it, and a couple people vibing, but for the most part, Cleveland and that it was about it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And
We
this
got
dude-
hella South influence.
This dude, man, I don't even know where this dude was from, bro, but he took my CD out and threw it because he wanted to listen to Master P do my shit.
Mad disrespectful.
Big dude,
You
too.
can be like, hey man, let's swap the CDs. Or maybe lower it down like, hey, what's up
Nah,
with this?
man, it was just like,
Toss your shit.
yeah,
I need a new CD, bro.
man, we was in that bitch fight, bro. It wasn't even nothing to talk
Yeah.
about. And he, I didn't necessarily want to fight him because he was big and a bully, and
Just can't let someone disrespect you like that.
I mean,
Pride.
I'm 140, 145 now at 43. At 15,
Probably buck
you
20.
can only imagine.
Buck.
Barely, maybe, yeah, 5, 6, whatever.
Yeah.
But couldn't go for that.
Hell no.
But that was just the level of what New Orleans, the influence musically,
Yeah.
the impact that they had all the way up here in Cleveland. It was crazy. It was
Yeah,
great though. It was great.
My uncle, so he's around your age. I think he was born in like 80. But he would say how, I forgot what song it was, but it was a No Limit song. Every
Shit,
time
they
he
had-
played it,
They had
everybody just
they had
started
an
fighting.
album about it.
I think it was. Every time he dropped it, club shut down.
The club
fights.
is getting torn down.
And this is in
Tear the
Lorraine.
club up, thugs, man. That shit was crazy, bro. We used to
Yeah.
have a club called Veils on the Circle. It's torn down now, but it's like, where like Cedar Hill starts,
Okay.
Carnegie and Chester all meet, and you like go up.
Yeah.
It was the University Circle almost. It was called Veils on the Circle, legendary club, fight club. For real, that was like normal back then. Not shooting or nothing like
Yeah,
that,
just
but
actual-
brawls in the
yeah.
club. That was
Yeah.
what happened. And whenever they played about it, it was like a mosh pit. Like mosh pits didn't start with Playboy Cardi.
Yeah, hell
Mosh
no.
pit started with Master P.
No
and
Limit
about it.
Soldiers.
I'm telling you, that's who Playboy Cardi. If you ever look to this interview, you need to do a song with Master P called The Real P, The Real Mosh Pit. Because
Yeah.
you fuck around and when Bout It come on, if you're not Bout It, you need to walk to the bar or the bathroom. Because every hood
crazy.
is like Bout It. And they like,
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm the, and I was fake, I ain't gonna lie. I was fake behind my homies and dudes that was really on it.
Yeah.
And by the time they fighting, I'm all the way back here. I might throw a fake punch or sometimes it got
You
real.
see me in there.
Yeah, but
I was there.
I'm about it from a distance. But no, I did. We there was a lot of scrapping going on though because of
Yeah, that's
these
crazy.
songs. But they was dope. And then years later, and this is like crazy because that's a throwback now. It was Cameron did
Yep.
about it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That could be what over 15 years ago.
Hmm.
So
Hell yeah. So how do you feel, obviously, in the rap music? How do you like seeing how a lot of these, obviously hip hop's only 50 years old.
yeah,
How do you like how all the people grew up listening to how they're starting to move?
what you
Because
mean?
obviously you said you came up, you're like,
Oh,
I'm trying to do the rap shit, sell dope, get this money, blah blah blah. But now we get to see rappers at an older age and how they conduct business and stuff. So
I mean
now,
it's great because like Hove got a lyric. He said I do this for what they did to the Cold Crush. Like a lot of these guys that birthed basically a culture that's influencing and dictating the world right now when it comes to that kind of stuff
mhm,
never got a chance to get their just dues or reap the benefits of what they started. Unlike a lot of other genres where like these rock and roll guys, no matter what they did with their money or whatever, they were able to do these big tours or have
yeah,
these big
and still
record
are
contracts or did yeah,
at
you
70
know,
years old.
and or have the business acumen based because of like where they were from. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Ashton. Um, they were able to um, you got you. They were able to benefit off of it based on the fact that their environment where they came from.
right.
Let's just be honest. A lot of these rock and roll guys wasn't growing up with their mom smoking dope or,
Yep.
not knowing where they was gonna pay the lights at. They, was in their parents' garage with equipment that costs money and all these other things. And so when you make it big, no matter how many drugs you do or these rock stars do, somebody close to them or they had the knowledge and insight to know how to um, prioritize the business aspect of
Yep.
it, which hip hop,
And
niggas
even if
was
that artist didn't keep in contact with
nah,
the people running the show, somebody around them probably did.
yeah. So we was breakdancing on cardboard, man. You know what I'm saying? Spray painted. So that,
Yeah.
for, we just and we was getting swindled when we would step into these
Yep.
meetings with
A
these
million
record labels.
percent.
No ownership, no masters, no nothing. So
Just happy to get a
and it's
10
very
piece.
sad. It's very very sad. So now I enjoy seeing you know the Cash Monies and the Bad Boys, even though that whole
Yeah, outside
situation.
outside of
But
the
it's
Diddy
still
stuff.
you can take the positive from it, you know, and see business structure, see evolution, see how you do things. Because there was a lot of things done right,
Yeah,
the
hell yeah.
Rockefellers, the Schwab houses, the all these things now where you have the cute,
Texas
yeah,
folk.
yeah, and down south really, and West Coast
Hmm.
were really in the forefront of retaining and having ownership.
Yeah, Death Row. No limit. Cash
Yeah, look
money.
at E40, Sick with it, and all that. They was all independent, and because they wasn't getting the love that they were supposed to get, so they had to do the
Yeah.
shit they sell. But I love to see that now, like a Playboy Cardi with opium, Lil Baby, pockets full, whoever, somebody right now starting their own shit that they ain't got nothing.
Yeah,
They
that
know,
we won't hear
I'm not about to
from.
sign shit
Yeah.
if it ain't right.
Yeah.
So I love to see that. And it's less and less people getting took advantage of for their art, but they should have, majority ownership and stake in.
Yeah, like you were saying, the access to information is just crazy now. And now you see a lot of people are getting to those ages, older,
Yeah,
40s, 50s, 60s,
yeah,
and they're like,
and there's
just
different
letting it be
levels.
known.
Yeah, and you can make a good living if you got some good shit and you know how to market it properly and you know how to do it. Everybody doesn't have to be, you know,
Jay-Z.
or a little, or nothing, but you can pay your bills
Well,
and
yeah,
move,
because what's
keep
the
scaling
homie's
up.
name? Crazy ill rapper. He be running around like the insane clown
Oh,
posse.
Kate from Kansas City, Tech Nine,
Yeah, Tech Nine.
huge.
Huge.
And he may not be as famous as a lot of people, but I bet his bank account is better.
Looking fatter than probably 90% of the people you listening to this
Big
week.
time. Yep. So I love to see all of that. That's what I love. I love to see, a lot of people from different like genres or different types of styles working together, collaborating. You know, it's a lot less of division and segregation amongst hip hop like it used to be. Like, oh, East Coast don't like this, or West Coast don't like that, or Midwest or down south. Like now, it's like, man, like what you like. Let's
Yeah.
fuck around and make
There's
some
so
dope
much
shit.
music you could pick from anywhere.
Yeah, or you could blend everything. You
Yep.
know, it's very liberal. You know.
Yeah, hell yeah. So who are you listening to right now? Top 3 artists you're listening to right now?
Right now, I'm listening to V's. I'm listening to Lewis Cole. Like now, like literally, like
Yeah,
this
yeah.
week,
Yep.
and I'm listening to Matt Martians.
Matt Martian.
Started Future.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
He's
say.
like the
Matt
guy that,
Martian.
like, from what I believe, kind of connected all those different
Yeah, hell yeah, because
guys.
he's from
And
the internet,
he's
right?
in the internet, but
Yeah.
I think he's the guy that pulled that whole collective together. I believe, but he got
Yeah.
some dope ass music
Well,
that
yeah,
a lot of
because
people
if he's
ain't.
on the
His own
internet,
music, yeah,
they all clicked up in Sid's basement and shit. So he was
yeah,
probably just like the one dude that's like trying to like
and
amp
keeping, yeah,
everybody up.
he produces for all of those
Yep.
guys. So I always
Just
I
real
listen to him, but I
producer
listen to it's more than like 3 people, but in my rotation right
right now.
now.
Yeah.
And then Lewis Cole is this white dude that makes super dope music, like on the Thundercat type vibe.
I
My
fuck with shit
cousin
like that.
Gifted, who's a dope
Oh,
producer
word.
from here, got me
Yeah,
hip
shout
to
out to
him.
Gifted.
Yeah, so and V's, I like him on the young, cool, dope
Yeah.
boy, just witty
He be getting
in his
off.
own. Yeah. He rap about the shit I want, everything I like to hear and
It's
talk
cool
about.
fly shit.
Yeah, and still gangster, but not too
Yeah,
gangster, and
exactly.
not, and he doing him. He ain't trying
He's
to.
not selling a million bricks and killing your mother's cousins.
He might.
No, but I say that's not like the rap.
No,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
ain't the
yeah,
bass. No, the bass is just him doing him.
yeah.
Uh,
So speaking of getting fly, what's what are you seeing right now? You say like you're like fashion into fashion. What are you seeing right now? Where's fashion going? And do you like where it's headed?
I'm 50-50. It's a lot, and I don't want to sound like the token old bitter dude, which
Yeah.
I'm not. But I don't like the algorithm dictating, what's cool and what's not.
Hmm.
I don't think people get a fair share to actually even understand like what they really do like, because these things right here are always in our face telling us what's socially acceptable.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, you you got on the bus and came here literally to this mall or another mall or another place, and you had an adventure, and you physically looked through clothes and you gravitated towards what gravitated to you. And mind you, you had the Jordans and you had magazines and different things that were popular that you would get insight from. But for the most part, you just went to the store, you seen some shit that you liked,
Yeah.
and you bought it or window shopped it till you could buy it.
Hmm.
And now it's like you getting force fed what to like. And I do see like a lot of brands that are popular now, that I feel like are making a mockery of the culture and selling it back to us.
Oh yeah.
I ain't gonna say no names, but they charging an arm and a leg to me for straight trash
Hmm.
when you could just go right to the source and get it without it being overzealous and obnoxious and just looking stupid.
Yeah. Remixed in a bad way.
Yeah. So I don't like that. I don't like where a lot of people. I do like where a lot of people are trying to start their own brands and do their own thing. I don't like everybody's just trying to do it to make it like a quick flip or to make
Yeah.
money and not really have like a real solid substance or base to fashion. I think it has to come from a organic space first and then grow from there. Like back to that whole genuine thing.
Yeah.
But then I also love the fact that you have real creatives, real people that are passionate that have the resources and knowledge, to do it now. And I feel like you more independent people are being more accepted and given a chance to go after it and get at it. And you can draw inspiration from everywhere and get it without. If you don't have the means, you can go on your phone, This is where I think like social media and the internet are cool because people can
Yeah.
be exposed to things where they won't if their pockets wouldn't allow them to be exposed to it.
Yeah.
Because traveling costs,
Yeah.
a
Insane
lot of
amounts
things
at
cost
times.
where just having an app doesn't so much. So
I
that's
mean,
like
even
that's
to
where my
see
fifty
certain
fifty
stores
lies.
too, you gotta go to certain places.
Yeah, and
So
going back in
if you're
time.
not driving 30
Yeah,
minutes hour to places,
and I see like a lot of kids going back to the shit that I was raised off of and gravitating towards and liking it. Whereas for me, it was so hard to just to find the things that I like. It was like an adventure. You had to
yeah,
like,
hell yeah.
you had to scour through magazines and through all kinds of shit, bro. You couldn't just search a hashtag or
Right.
do this or do that. So I'm 50-50 with it all.
Yeah. So it
It's
sounds
a lot
like
of good, it's a lot of bad, and it's a lot of in between.
yeah.
I just think people need to have the right mindset going into all of it.
Yeah. So what I picked up on is kind of like you're not really feeling the lack of individuality, because that's kind of
Yeah.
where I'm at too. Everybody just kind of just
But I do see it, but I see a lot of individuality. Some that I gravitate towards because I like it.
wait.
Some that
You
I
more
don't.
so mean like in the masses though. That's
Oh
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
just
in the masses.
and they don't know, man. It's a lot of sheep. Like this shit is really
Yeah.
like the Matrix, bro. At first it was a cliche thing a couple years back, like we all in the Matrix. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
Nah, we in
It
the fucking
really
Matrix
is.
for real. Like we
Yeah.
plugged in, we like cyborgs and shit. So that is kind of scary.
Well,
But
yeah, the craziest example of that is pandas, panda dunks.
I had on some Panda New Balances yesterday. I posted it. I had on the Baby Daddy 1906s, but I love the colorway.
Yeah,
But yeah, the pandas is crazy. It's a lot of pandas out here,
it's
man.
like,
Girls and
damn,
guys. Stacked denim
like
warriors.
those shits just took over. I've never seen a shoe like that really, where they actually had enough to where like they just kept releasing them for months, and it kept selling out for months and months and months.
Yeah, I'm like, I
And
mean,
now everybody's pair is just cooked. Now you see a pair with someone wearing
and
them
I
now, they're
love
just
dunks,
cooked
man. I
up.
love dunks. I
Yep,
love Jordan 1. And the
they
fake
sledded
the
those
fake shit
out.
is crazy too because everybody's like trying to get the dollar. Like the factories that make the real shit are making the fake, so they not really fake. They're not
It's
fake.
tough. Yeah,
They
it's
are
tough.
not made by Nike.
Yeah.
They are not made by
Now the only way to
Adidas,
say,
but they are made by the same
and
factory
that's
that Nike
yep,
hires. So it's like
and
you
that's
gotta really be like you can't that hype beast shit. I'm like, wait, over with. I can't. Even if I like it, I don't because it's just
yeah. You
everything's
don't even know
fake.
what you're buying now.
I saw my man sent me like I got these Chanel sneaks, like dope pair. I paid 1,700 for these joints. And all they did was just make a New Balance. You know what I'm saying? Going back to my point earlier,
Yeah,
I think Chanel does it cleverly, but there are other brands that bastardize, I think, like our culture and make fun of us and try and sell it back to us.
yeah,
Chanel not being one of them. But these shoes, like I paid 1,700 for. This dude had them on on his IG post, like, yo, real fake. Check these out. I hate it. And I'm sure they were made by the same factory that probably make Chanel's. They like, okay, when you done Chanel, we just gonna make these ourselves and bang them. And that's what you got. So you got a lot of like, you really gotta, if you really care, like people like me and you do, and a lot of other people, you really gotta like be mindful of how you express yourself from an aesthetic standpoint. If you want to be all the way
yeah. You
authentic,
got to take a few extra steps. Make sure.
yeah. And then you don't want to have on something you pay 1,700 for and nobody knows. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. You bought that because you do like how they look and
Yeah,
they Chanel or
yeah.
whatever, And then this person has them on and you can't tell the difference. That's the thing,
Oh, 1,000,000%.
you know.
At the
That's
end
the
of the day, you
thing.
got to just do it for you.
So yeah, so that's why I like to go back to things of the essence and just instead of wearing them Chanels that look like the New Balance, I'm just gonna wear like the New Balance.
Yeah,
They were got to go back to the essence with a lot of stuff
yeah, hell yeah,
or things that you know for a fact come from a true source.
yeah. So that was kind of like what was cool, like back in the day, like being able to find stuff, whether it be at a store in your mall, just a random store around the
Yeah, that's why I
way,
do a lot of
or
thrifting now too. A lot of
yeah,
my
come up
clothes
on shit.
are thrifted, and people will ask me, where I got it from. Wow, you must have paid a grip for that, and this, that, and the third. I'm like, yeah, I sure did. Yeah, I did. Like, not money, but
Time,
time,
effort.
investment, effort, and it shows. Whereas you went up here and bought, you know, whatever everybody else can get, trying for clout, and you look stupid.
Yeah, now I feel like there's just the ocean is so big in terms of like clothes and shoes and stuff that people don't even know where to dive in at.
Yeah, and you
So
know
they're
what? It's
just
always been
looking
a form of this,
towards
though. Even back then,
yeah,
it was a form of this, but now it's just because of
the access.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and now everybody's kind of more so connected more than ever before.
yeah. You
So
got
now it's not just like, oh, those are the guys that are into shoes and clothes. Now it's like you aren't into shoes and clothes,
mm-hmm.
or looking a certain way, wearing a certain thing or brand. But like I remember when I was in high school, whatever, we'll be on forums and stuff, find little brands that just started. Oh, this is cool. This is cool. And now looking back on the shit, it's like shit is they took off. They really did it. Like there's some of my favorite brands now that I just found like on a Hypebeast forum,
Mm-hmm.
just in like a little chat. They weren't even on Hypebeast or nothing. They just made a little thread
Yeah, you
talking
never
about
know.
their shit.
Yeah, you never know how it's gonna happen.
So what brands right now are you looking towards for whether it be inspiration
Ralph
or
Lauren
okay,
for anything. That
always
first of all, that's like I feel like he's the goat.
that's the king.
Yeah, and not because you see it everywhere, but because he turned his real lifestyle into um basically like American aesthetic. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? And he it's just dope. Like you can wear. He has all different kinds of sub genres and cultures. It breaks down into all kinds of shit. You can get a tuxedo from Ralph. You can get an Italian cut suit. You can get some distressed denim. You can get some shit to work out in. You can go ride a bike. You can go get on a boat. You
ride a
can go,
horse.
yeah, you can go, you can get comfy. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to do, he has that for you, and he does a good job at it consistently for, I don't know, 50 years or 60 years, however long. Ralph Lipschitz, has been doing it. Um, Stone Island is a
Oh,
brand.
always
Um, North Face, all like the heritage
staples. Yeah.
brands. I like Loro Piano on the luxury side, Brioni, Bruno Cucinelli. Um, Big fan of Arc'teryx. A lot of like hiking, camping.
I was so
Um,
confused on how they popped all of a sudden within the last few
Spider.
years.
But they always been around,
Yeah,
bro.
no, that's what I was saying
You
because I
know,
know of Architects
I mean,
2013.
thank hip hop, bro. We make a lot of shit hot, bro.
Yeah, and I
They
didn't
can
know
say
where
what they
that
want
came
to
from
say.
either. I was like, oh, somebody must have started
But
wearing
yeah, I got like
Architects.
OGs in my hood that got me hip to that stuff in the '90s because they were into it because it was like the premium hiking
Yeah, hell
and
yeah,
performance and outerwear things, and
yeah,
that's how I got hip to New Balance because like my OGs was rocking New Balance because that's what like doctors and professionals wore these shoes to be comfortable and they cost a lot of
yeah,
money. So
yeah.
like my
They're not
OGs will
cheap.
buy them and make them look good.
Yeah, just freak them, make them fly.
The same way with like North Face, Columbia, Spider, a lot of these different brands. The original Iceberg back then, uh, obviously Ralph goes without saying. But yeah, a lot of heritage brands I still lean into for inspiration from aesthetic and silhouette standpoint. Um, Carhartt, Dickies, a lot of military inspired
Well, yeah,
fashion,
you often do camos,
camo, yeah,
custom
and
ones.
just the silhouettes, workwear. You know, I don't really necessarily reinvent the wheel when it comes to
Just
the
add your
silhouettes.
seasoning.
Yeah, yeah, I don't re. I'm not. You'll never catch me in like stacked denim or like elongated. Like it's always gonna be things that are like considered classic, um, clothing, but with my twist to it.
Yeah.
Like this is inspired by a Carhartt jacket, but it's layer. It's a Carhartt jacket that was inspired by American dice culture.
Yeah.
But this jacket fit like a work jacket that somebody at Ford would be wearing right now.
Yeah.
I'm not into like doing too much extra to garments. It's just my aesthetic is more classic.
Right.
With
So
with pop,
so we're not gonna. Are we gonna see you in like the bell bottom flare jeans?
No, but like baggy is a thing. Like it's funny. I'm not gonna mention no names, but a year or two ago, some mutual friends like saw me. I don't like a baggy look. And so I see you on your baggy, and I'm like, bro, like I started baggy. Like my
Yeah.
generation, like we are
It's
baggy.
always been baggy.
Yeah, we created like we literally my generation created like big
Yeah.
baggy shit. We
Yeah.
did that, and I showed them a
Four
picture.
XLTs.
Yeah, I showed them a picture of me and Rich in high school after a game by the lockers and G'd the fuck up in some baggy. I had on all polo. I think Rich had on maybe Sean John and Averex chains. You know what I'm saying? Frames and big clothes back then. And I'm like, I can dive into that
I could
because
go back to my old shit.
and like it was yesterday. Yeah, but so to your point, we was rocking flare denim for real when True Religions first came out, when people used to make fun of True Religions. I'm talking like 01, 02-ish.
Yeah.
When I first started wearing it, because that was a jean that a lot of bikers used to wear because of the flare.
Go over there.
And True Religion comes from a biker gang kind of aesthetic.
Got you.
And that's the jeans had the flare. I didn't like that shit back then, so we would like try and tuck them in our Timbs or our shoes more so, or put more cuffs on them or whatever.
Yeah.
But then you kind of had
Pin
to
roll them and shit.
You kind of had to embrace the flare a little bit because that's what it was. So I do have some flare-ish, but you're not gonna never catch me in no stack or no shit like that. No, that just it's not me. And no disrespect to people that do it, or anything that's like trendy. I just can't. Never have, never will.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, this is my boy John Elliott, who's the homie.
Shout out to
This is I'm sure he was inspired by some North Face /
Well, yeah, because he's
Stone
all
Island.
basics, and then he got techie.
Yeah, he got techie with and he put his twist on it.
Yeah,
I rock a lot of John Elliott too. Shout out to him.
I love John Elliott.
I guess he would be considered a newer designer that I feel like hits certain marks that I look for when it comes to fashion. Like I could wear these pants with this, or I could wear them with a suit, like a blazer. And
yeah,
keep
because
it
when
moving.
did his shit take off? Like 13, 14?
Man, I
Like,
met
take
John
off,
a
take
while
off?
back, actually here at this mall. Shout out to my boy Mike Hurley, who was friends with John first. And John, I think, had one of his first or second collections. He was shopping with Rob. He brought here in a little small suitcase to the next.
That's fire.
Over there, yeah. Talking over 10 years ago or so. So
Yeah, that sounds
and
about
a
right.
full circle moment, I had a meeting with John and Rich, Zoom meeting with them on Friday.
Oh, that's fire.
About some cool stuff coming down the pipeline. So
Hey, because John Elliott wasn't in many stores, but they were in X. When X opened.
Yep, now he got stores Madison Ave, Soho, Melrose.
That LA store is crazy.
Toronto took over the off-white space. So
Hell yeah. How do you like what Pharrell's doing at Louis?
love it. I mean, they had to tap in, man. They know what's up. They know what's up.
It was dope
Even
to
on the
see
liquor
it
side,
go
they
from
tapping into
Virgil
Brian
to
now.
Pharrell too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, man, we dictate.
Well, yeah,
the
LeBron was
culture,
like one
bro.
of his first campagns, right?
He was the first.
The first.
For real, yeah. He was the first person that he used in the campaign.
Did it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like he's killing them too. We were talking about camos. I love that little camo he made, that little digi shit. That shit's
And you can see I mean, that's what he did with BBC.
Yeah.
When he first started BBC, he was, utilizing a lot of digi camo and a lot of the things that made BBC popular and blew up that a lot of other brands stole or took, or, the Shines and Fashion Novas of that day started taking and using. Pharrell started that and he brought it right back and put it into, what he's doing with Louis, which I'm not mad at. You know,
Yeah, at all.
and going somewhere different with it too, evolving and doing new things that I think is pretty cool. I love it. I love everything Virgil did. I think it's pretty dope, and not just because it's quote unquote, on every hype beast page and
Yeah,
all of
no,
that.
it's for a reason.
Yeah, and I like it just because I'm a fan of what they're doing and what they're doing for the culture and the culture that they're creating. Not that I'm necessarily running out to buy every piece,
Hmm.
you know. Not that I can afford it
I
either,
was about to say it's price
but
for hire.
I have a few things that I'm like I gotta get, you know, and all of it is in clothing, like novelty pieces, like some of the books,
Hmm.
some of the things that are gonna last forever, some of the like frame, whatever I can get my
Yeah,
hands on that I like.
lifestyle
Yeah,
accessories.
yeah. Well,
There
for
you
sure,
go.
for sure.
So with it being, what are we now? October, so close to the end of the year.
Hmm.
Do you have anything else kind of lined up that you're excited to release before 2025, or are you kind of right now more so just gonna play it out
When is
smooth
this
and
getting
then?
released? When is this coming out?
Oh, it'll be within a couple weeks.
Oh, okay. So I can say, yeah. So we have a collab with the Browns that we're
Hell
dropping
yeah.
November 21st, which is pretty dope because it's a rivalry game against the Steelers.
Eh,
And yeah, we've been working on this collab for a while. Uh, and it's been a lot of back and forth between the NFL and the Browns to meet certain marks because they have, restrictions and
of
guide
course.
and design guidelines that you have to sort of business part of it comes into
Yeah.
play. And we had to give and take, but it's going to be dope, and I'm proud about it. I'm a Browns fan. I'm Cleveland to the core, and the collection represents a lot of different ideologies and different things that a lot of Cleveland people, Ohio people, Midwestern people, or just fans of things that we bring to the table are going to appreciate. So I'm happy about that. Um, got a collab with Moose Knuckles that is probably coming out.
Oh, word.
Yeah, coming out after um, 25, but it's getting worked on
Yeah,
now.
it's getting cooked
And
up.
it's just some cool inline stuff that we're doing, and just things that are going to be evolving with the business. Some of the maybe not so fun stuff,
Yeah.
but things that you have to do to actually be able to grow and scale a business that we've been working on that we're going to release in regards to our website, different functionalities, user customer experiences to make it more fluid, you know,
There's more user friendly interface.
all of that. Yeah, so I'm excited about that stuff as well as a few capsules that we've been working on and things that we have coming. So yeah,
So obviously, Clutch under New Balance, Rich
partnership.
partnership.
Yeah,
Okay.
Clutch. So there's
Yeah.
Clutch. There's Clutch
Can you
Sports
explain
Group,
that? Yeah.
which is um, you know a behemoth in the sports representation business,
Number
which is
one.
also owned and started by Rich Paul, my brother, best friend. As of recently, he started a partnership with New Balance called Clutch Athletics, which is a performance training apparel and shoe brand that
Yeah.
falls
A lot of
inside.
people don't know New Balance apparel is fire.
We gonna let them know.
Yeah, my first New
Yeah,
Balance shit I probably got in like
it's
maybe
a dope brand.
2015, 2016, and I picked it
Yeah,
up off the shelf. I'm
and
like, they make clothes, and I
yeah,
was
and to
very
go back to
surprised.
New Balance, I'm inspired by New Balance. Like I know some, New Balances right now. Shout out to Joe Fresh
Yeah,
Good with
Joe's killing
the
them.
belly joints. Yeah, I'm so happy and happy and proud of him. He's a peer, friend, contemporary, and to see his growth and to know like some of his struggles and just different obstacles that he's had to get through to get to where he's at. And still some of the things, everybody has things they got to go through. I don't care if you're Ronnie Fag or the kid trying to, you know, get a couple sales off of
Hmm.
Instagram. It's always going to be things you got to go through.
Yep.
So I just
And
like
Joe
to I
Joe
like to
got a
see.
small little in-house team too, and they be
Hmm.
killing it.
Yeah, I like to see people overcome and grow. But yeah, New Balance, Clutch Athletics is a lot of dope stuff. Also working on Rich's own stuff, which is separate from New Balance.
Okay.
He has his own signature shoe. So
Oh,
we're working on
fire.
the third edition of those, which I'm actually a part of the design process of the shoe and the apparel this trip. So I'm super excited about that. Can't wait for that to get out here. Um, yeah,
So it's not a reach that we may be seeing some type of layer New Balance intersection at some point.
that would be great.
Hell
That would be
yeah.
lovely. But first things first,
Whether it be
man.
a promo or a one off, like some little Rockefeller Air
You
Forces from
never
back in
know.
the day,
Yeah,
you
you
know what I
never know.
mean? Hey,
Yeah, you
whip these
never
up real
know.
quick.
And then
Cause
some other cool.
that's
Yeah,
the illest part about New Balance though. They're based out of here, so they could just whip something up right then and there, damn near.
you would think.
Well,
They're also a $1 billion company
oh
with a
yeah, a
lot of
million
checks and
percent.
balances and things of that. So,
But when they
the,
had like their ID program, it was all
oh
getting
yeah,
shipped
yeah,
from
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Boston.
yeah, yeah. They they're dope and they care.
Yeah, they're really for the consumer.
Yeah, and shout out to Chris Davis, who's the CEO. His father started the company, who's very, very integral in the everyday business and development of the brand. And he really cares of about the product that they put out, how they're perceived, who they work with, how they work with people, the community. All of that stuff matters, man, especially when you're big like that to actually still care
Yeah, hell
about
yeah.
the things that got you there and that the things that are going to and care about that enough to the point to know that those are the things that are going to get you to where you need to go as well.
Fuck
You don't
yeah.
give up on that. So yeah, shout out to New
Yeah,
Balance
they're
for
really
sure.
involved in Boston and with the community and
Mm-hmm.
everything.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still do, but they used to do a yearly New Balance with concepts for the Boston Marathon,
And
super
yeah, all of that.
exclusive.
Yeah.
Like,
And they have some more things coming up that they're doing to for the athletic community with a lot of the up and coming prospects.
I think I
Um,
just seen one of their newer models for basketball, and it looked pretty good.
I forgot. It's the Hezi.
I think so.
Yeah. I think that's the shoe that Darius Garland, who's um, a New Balance athlete
Oh
as
yeah,
well
I did
as
see that.
a Clutch Sports agent, little bro, Cavs All Star, a
Yeah,
homie.
shout outs,
He's a New
man.
Balance guy, but yeah,
Cavs are
he
looking good right now in preseason.
yeah, get over these Knicks, we gonna be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, I got this one little segment
Okay.
before we get out of here. It's called Really Does This or That.
Okay.
So I'm sure you get the picture. But the first one, rap or R&B?
Rap.
Um, fashion or music? And this will just totality. Let's say you could do the highest thing in either or. If you could be involved at the highest levels in rap or just music in general or the highest levels
It's
in the
like drink
fashion
champs. You got a
industry.
pad.
Yeah, yeah.
No, no, no.
So if you want to give it shots.
Just because of I guess what we talked about earlier. Damn, man, that's tough. But I would say fashion.
Okay. Um, rappers or producers?
I would say producers, because producers can be usually are rappers too, are usually better than the rappers they're producing for,
Yeah, shout
and they're
outs to Hit
usually
Boy.
maybe writing their raps.
Yeah.
So, producers.
Okay. Kind of staying on that type of time. Uh, the lead designer, like the face of the brand, or their team.
Team.
Money or fame?
Money.
Jordan or New
New
Balance?
Balance.
Okay. Browns or Guardians?
Browns. Unfortunately, but Browns. Shout out to the Guardians though, for sure. Let's get that dub today.
Yeah, need
Let's get
that.
that diz up.
Uh,
Shout out to Tristan McKenzie too. It's my bro.
yeah, need to get him
Yeah.
back. Tits or ass?
Well, it's a proportion thing here.
Which one do you
Depends
find
on
yourself looking at more?
ass.
Word.
Ass.
Um,
Shout out to Big Sean too. That was he's a
ass,
he's an
ass.
early 80 81 8081 supporter and brother as well.
Oh, that makes sense. It's
Detroit
right
homie.
there.
Yeah, I used to manage Fly Union. He was in Cleveland a lot. He used to be here a
Oh, you
lot.
used to manage Fly Union?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Yeah, I managed Fly. Dream Life, Fat Out, music.
Yeah.
Before I was an artist, I was, managing,
Hell yeah.
and we had the label Dream Life, all of that. But yeah, we shot a video for Fly Union on Coventry. Shout out to SO and Heart and Soul. Shout out to Brigade that's over here now. And Brigade, it was this other store and Next in my apartment when I used to stay at the Quay 55. But yeah, Fly Union, we did a pulled up at the View, the club that we used to do. So
That's fire.
we utilized all these things, and Big Sean shot the video on Coventry and at my apartment.
Oh, that's hard.
It was dope. It was a great
Hell
time
yeah.
of like, I want to say we was like ahead of our time with that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah,
But yeah,
shit. I can't believe I didn't bring it up. Before we get out of here, we definitely got to touch on how do you see Cleveland music right now?
I feel like we have some really good talent and artists. I feel like somewhere from this era that I was just talking about, we lost the movement and the collectiveness of everybody really rocking out and trying to build like a culture, a working culture, like a working class professional culture where, you could always work, you could always find a studio, you could always find somebody to shoot your video. There was the grog shop type of venues. There was it was something brewing and growing to where you could really like say we had movement, motion type of thing. And I don't think talent has ever been a question. I feel like we need to get back to that because that's kind of lacking right now.
Yeah.
And that's where I kind of feel bad. Like I'm not as involved with things like as I used to be.
Well, what would someone have to do to kind of bring
Do,
that flame back?
do, do. People got to do, man. Stop
Yeah.
talking about it and do the shit.
Yeah.
Start working with people unbiasedly, but based upon, talent, people being capable, and getting after it. And that's how shit start. And people stop thinking that they are more than what or bigger or not as good because that's the thing too. It's a lot of people insecure that would be afraid to go up to another person because they're not comfortable or confident with what it is that they do. So what I'm saying? I said that was like a topic of my homegirl. I just did a interview with her. Name's Jocelyn. She has a podcast, young girl, and it was just like, dude, people got to start doing and stop all the yapping and talking or being insecure or being fearful or this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
Everybody got to get out here and do and collaborate and make shit pop. And everything ain't gonna be a hit too. Like everything
Yeah.
ain't
Hell
gonna pop. But
no.
once you start stacking, um, you start stacking consistency. It works. Somebody gonna see it, or you even if it's consistency for you internally to keep moving and growing.
Yeah.
And that's where we've missed that consistency. Like every week, it was something at the grog shop. Every week it was something here, or it was a video, or studios was rocking. I could go, and EST boys was here, or
Yeah.
my crosstown homies, were there, or Rossi Mafia had something going, Dream Life had something going, Fly Union was in town from Columbus, you know,
Yeah. So there was just all these
Legit
different
Paper,
people
yeah,
doing these
Legit
things,
Paper,
bringing people out,
all of
creating a
that. Boss
scene.
Bird, Royalty Camp, Chip the Ripper. It was just more. It was you heard. It was
Yeah.
now it's few and far in between, and you got one person over here, one person over there. They not reposting this person. They not doing that. I ain't gonna say you got to repost, but that shit
Nah,
help
but
because we're
still
not Cleveland
spread
is not
spread
where it needs
shit.
to be.
Yeah.
So everybody helping everybody out.
Hmm.
And mind you, it needs to be a connectivity. It needs to work. It needs to mesh. And there are levels. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't work with everybody.
Yeah. Hell no.
But you can at least identify. You could at least give somebody some game. You could at least check it out. And that's how shit grow.
Yeah. Hell yeah. You gotta show love to get love too. So it's like
Yeah,
a
and
lot
it's
of
different
people.
levels of love that different people get based
Yeah.
upon their consistency, their
Hmm.
talent, and their productivity. And that's life, bro.
A million percent.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good point to end it on. I appreciate you,
No
dog.
doubt. No doubt. Appreciate you, man.
No doubt.
You already know. Legit. Yes, sir.
Fuck
Good
with it.
shit. Good shit. That was good. That was good stuff. Really does it.
Hell yeah.
Really does this.